Hello, hello. We are live, and I see we have Lith with us right now, along with a few other peoples. Excuse the very hastily put together visuals. I'm still working on figuring out how to do like slideshows properly in OBS, but as we start, I'm gonna crack one, and we shall chit-chat about some pretty interesting stuff coming from the AMD financial analysis day. Some pretty cool things they talked about and showed, and I want to talk about that. First, big shout out to Lith, who's in the chat. I doubted you in our stream, I think back in was it early April. We did a stream, and you were talking about how the next gen AMD cards are going to have a chiplet design. I was doubtful, and sure enough, you were correct. So I can't fault you. Can't fault you for that. Jimmy, pull the clip. Let me see. I gotta find it. But yeah, you definitely said so. Let's see here. On my channel here, we've got you 2 months ago talking about the chiplet design, and let me see where you were talking about it. Well, maybe it was, I think it was kind of earlier on in the broadcast here. I'm trying to find the clip.
What do you do?
Well, mining is a different animal altogether, because man, I don't know where, but yeah, you said it in that stream. So you want to be a GPU superstar, big house, 5 cars, that stream back in the day. You said so, and it happened. So all credit to you and your GPU calling prowess. But before we get deep into it, I just want to recommend to everybody, if you're first time joining, awesome, glad to have you here. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I would love it if you subscribed. It works great for helping boost my ego, and that's floundering at the time, so hey, you go for it. It'll make me feel good. No, I'm just kidding. It'll help my ego, but I don't need it. Or do I? I don't know. Maybe I do. Who knows? But subscribe, like, share if you find it interesting, or if you think somebody else would find it interesting. And hit that notification bell if you want to be seeing more of this stuff. I do a gaming stream on Fridays, which is very long and not for everybody. And I do a tech one, which I try to keep short, on Mondays. Last Monday was a really good one, but it wasn't short, but it was very good, and it was a lot of fun. So let's get into it, shall we? I'm going to change this picture that I have sort of sitting up there, kind of manually, and let's start off with, should we go with the RDNA 3, or should we go with the Zen 4 stuff first? What should we go with? I don't know. I'm polling the audience here. What do you think? You know what, Lith, you're here. You called the chiplets. Let's go RDNA 3, right? Okay. And you also said there's some pretty cool stuff with Infinity Fabric. I got a few Infinity Fabric slides that I'm going to pull up. But first, let's hit up RDNA 3. All right. Oh my gosh, it's all over my face. Let me fix this. My goodness. Who's streaming this? This is terrible. There we go. That's a little better, huh? That's a little better. All right. So, we've got the RDNA 3 roadmap here. And one of the cool things about these roadmaps is that unlike some other manufacturers out there, Intel, AMD is really good at hitting their roadmaps. And you know, you can't bash AMD. You know, you can bash them for a few things, but you can't bash them for the roadmaps because they do hit them. So, RDNA 3, Navi 3X. All right, they're hitting it with the 5 nanometer, and they are going with. Let me just find the right one here. Okay, we've got this next one, which is the. Yeah, we're going to change this up to the next one, which is, boom, okay, woo, 50%, greater than 50% performance per watt uplift, advanced chiplet packaging, right there. Yeah, nobody buys them, even at MSRP. Although 6900 XT suddenly showed up, and it is still in stock. So, what you going to do, right? But I love that meme. Nobody buys them, even at MSRP. So this is actually pretty cool because, all right, I don't know what to make of this exactly because right now you've got your 6950 XT, which is like 341 watts. So if this next gen RDNA 3 GPU is around 340, 350, you're going to have 50% uplift or more. If this is correct. So that in of itself is pretty awesome. Like 50% uplift, that's great. Oh yeah, someone did say it. Who would have believed that? I know, I didn't believe it, Lith. I didn't. I admit it. And it's there. I am drinking my humble beer. My beer of humility. Which just so happens to be the beer that I spilt on my keyboard, same type as the last March 19th. You called it live. It's true. And one of the awesome things though about this, right, the advanced chiplet packaging, for all you folks out there looking to get a next gen GPU, if there's anything we learned from chiplets from Zen, is that chiplets means cheaper. You have much better yields on your silicon. You know, you don't have those massive monolithic dies. So I'm guessing that flagship model is probably going to be, I don't know, let's see. I'm going to throw it out there. This is probably incorrect, but I'm going to throw it out there that I think the flagship AMD model is probably going to be 1K Canadian from AMD. That's my guess. Because I think with the chiplet design, it's going to be so much cheaper for them to make, to add all those cores. Right now, you've got the 6900 XT for like 1270. All right, 1150. All right, that's still within 10%. I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't argue with that. Flag, not Apex. No, I'm saying 7900 XT. It'll probably be close to $1,000. And I'm guessing it'll probably be close to 350 watts, because a 50% uplift would be awesome. And what that really translates to, 59 or 50% uplift, is greater than 50%. I'm just assuming 50% because I take all these things with it's full of BS. But the what this means is I went on Tech Power Up just before this to do a little bit of last minute studying because that's how I do. I'm very last minute, but a 50% uplift means on average, you're getting 144 frames per second at 4K with the RDNA 3 flagship. So you said the 6000 series will be worthless compared to the 7000 series. Okay, that one I don't know. Chip shortages might prove you wrong on that one. Supply chain shortages or issues might prove you wrong on that one. We're still dealing with some rolling shutdowns across the Pacific, so there might be some supply chain issues as a result of that. So I do have some doubts, but if it happens, I will give you all credit that you were right again and I was wrong again. But still, 50% uplift. Oh no, of course they're already printing them, but the question is the packaging, putting them together. The real thing I'm more concerned about though is drivers. Is there going to be issues with drivers? Because not even in the sense that AMD has like traditionally been sort of ragged on for bad drivers, but just the fact that a chiplet design and getting all that stuff to talk together properly, I don't know, maybe, maybe it won't be an issue, right, with their next gen Infinity Cache, but we'll see. But still, super exciting. I think that chiplet packaging is going to be incredible for cost. Like, you're going to get some really cheap, like, because like basically you're getting like these tiny little chiplets which are super cheap, super easy to make. AMD's got quite a bit of experience with packaging with who is the company? Was it Nvidia that made fun of them, or was it no, it was Intel with the glue, right? Intel made fun of them with the glue. And I just think it's kind of funny that Intel made fun of them with the glue, and I still haven't seen a GPU from Intel, so I don't know who's laughing now, right? Shots fired. So it's pretty exciting though. I'm actually really like, yeah, memory manufacturers, although you know what? I think there's enough fab for memory to go around, personally. Again, I'm not like super, yeah, I know. Intel Arc is going to be a classic case of too little too late, in my opinion. But I don't think there's going to be too much issues with memory manufacturers, just because I think next gen NVIDIA is going to be a lot of GDDR6X. I don't think AMD is going to use any GDDR6X. I think it's all going to be GDDR6, which means there's going to be, I think, Micron who's making it. I think Samsung also makes GDDR6. Correct me if I'm wrong. AMD went the Nintendo way. What do you mean? Isn't the Switch an NVIDIA GPU? But let's continue on to the next one. What is going to be our next exciting thing to look at here? Oh, GameCube has ATI graphics? Oh, man. Let us see. Oh, yeah. Lith, you sent me the... Is this timestamped? The clip you sent me? Lith? Oh, no, I haven't touched Infinity Cache yet. I'm going to be talking about Infinity Cache. Actually, no, I haven't touched... Okay, here we go. We got the timestamp of Lith.
I'll tell you why. Because AMD, they went with present CPU, present GPU. They went the Nintendo way.
Okay.
You know what it is?
I don't know what you mean, but...
You don't know what I mean?
No,
okay.
Not really. I still don't know.
So, do you remember the first Wii?
Yeah.
The Wii. Okay. So, do you remember the Wii U?
No.
The Wii U. That was the console after the Wii.
That sounds
So
like a siren.
the Wii,
Wii U, Wii U.
the Wii was the one with the remote,
Oh, okay.
like tennis and everything, and then the Wii U was still the same factor, like same format, pretty much the same remote. So we keep what's winning and what was good, and we bring it to the next console, right?
Mm.
So cost less in R&D, cost less in new parts, cost less in molds, cost less in whatever you want.
Oh yeah.
Because you're pretty much bringing the same shit.
Oh yeah. No, and that's just smart. That's just smart as far as product is concerned.
And they had like this big screen thing that you could play with and whatever. You could like play on the TV with the console and have.
So wait, Lith, was that you getting to talking about the AMD chiplet design? But anyways, in that stream, hey Virgo, how's it going? We're just chit-chatting about these RDNA 3 GPUs that are going to be coming. And how Lithdrodamus called the chiplet design. And let's see here. We've got the chiplet design. Actually, here's one little clip that I want to put in here. And I want to say this to AMD's credit. This right here is why they're winning. Okay? If you want your company to succeed, you get more money in engineering. Look at this. When AMD was looking to launch a new CPU. Oh, it's 1 minute down the road? Should I? All right, let's see.
Have your big remote and you could play directly on the remote streaming from the console. So then.
New. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hey. Oh, wait. I can't see. I just skipped it. Kind of new. But I don't know. We'll
1000 series.
Yeah? Stuff. Do you think they're going to put it together in this gen, though?
Oh,
here we go.
With Infinity Fabric. So you already have the recipe.
Yeah. Oh, no, they've got the stuff. Do you think they're going to put it together in this gen, though?
Yeah. 7000 series.
Yeah? Okay. There it is.
I'm kind of pretty sure.
1217. I don't know. It still seems kind of... Or 1317. Kind of new. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, I can't say you're wrong because I don't know, right? So I technically didn't say you were wrong. I just have my doubts because I'm generally quite doubtful about a lot of this stuff in general. Like, just like when people are like, the new, 4060 is going to be like 3090. There it is. There it is. You called it, Lith. Lith's got an inside man. He's our next leaker. I'm going to go with Lith for all my leaks. Maybe I'll have like a little segment every once in a while on my stream and I'll call it Lith's Leaks. It'll be great. So we're going to go with this. This slide here is exactly... Yeah, Lith, you got like Infinity Fabric connections with other people. We're going to continue on with, engineering. This investment in engineering. This is why they are where they are. Because they've been not just getting ahead, but pushing to stay ahead and pushing to... Yeah. Oh, no, exactly. 2 teams. Who knows? Maybe they've even started a 3rd team. And I've got some pretty cool ideas going on here. So let's see. I think that's really mostly of what they talked about. I think the big thing for oh yeah, no, they're running at least 2 teams for sure. And that's really, though, I think all that they really talked about in this in regards to the Radeon next gen. I think they did talk a bit about FSR and that, but I didn't really. That's not really going to be my focus tonight. It's going to be mostly with hardware stuff. Next gen AMD Infinity Cache. That's going to be kind of interesting. I wonder if they're going to expand it even further. They always could. You know, who knows? Are they going to have maybe like a memory module that's even separate, like similar to like what they do with the IO die on their Zen CPUs? We shall see. But there was some really, really cool stuff. I'm gonna talk a little bit. Lith, stop! You're ruining my mic drop near the end. All right, let's keep this CPU GPU shared memory stuff on the DL. All right, man. I should have just like shared my stuff with you beforehand so I could like, you know, keep this stuff going. All right, we're going to switch gears from RDNA 3 and we're going to talk now about the 7000 series CPUs, which is kind of a bit of a loop for everybody because I was like expecting them to be 6000 series, but hey, let's switch to the next slide here. And this next slide is just a little overview of the Zen 4 goodness. All right. One of the great things about this is, number one, it has a pretty cool looking IHS. All right. Those notches are pretty neat. 6,000. Okay. Don't even get me started on their laptop stuff. Their laptop CPUs are like ridiculously like confusing. It's 6,000. What is this on which process on, you know, what architecture? Who knows? It has nothing to do with the others. So I love this because, like, look at this. 5.5 gigahertz clock speed. Insane. Love it. Approximate 8% IPC uplift. I know. I love that D-lid. That D-lid that you just sent me in Discord. Pretty boss. 25% more performance per watt. Cool. I'm just more interested in actual performance. That 5%, 5.5%, I did a little bit of calculating. And it's interesting. This slide that they showed was sort of later on in the stream. And earlier in the stream, the guy talking about AM4 or Zen 4 CPUs, he had a bit more of a detail. RIP PGA, I know, right? It's all gonna be the what is it? LGA. But I'm gonna take a little hint. Is that 5.5 gigahertz single core or is that all core? I don't know. But it was pretty cool seeing that 5.5 gigahertz. They did have another slide that I'm going to pop up right now. Actually, first let's talk about what's on here. And then we'll go to the next slide, which is a little bit more detailed. 8% IPC in desktop workloads. That's kind of cool. Greater than 15% single thread uplift. That's good. I took a little look at what that clock increase and IPC increase would mean, just in relative terms to the overall. Say I took it from like a standpoint like, what if we? I know it's not like a legit comparison CPU to CPU, but Cinebench single thread. I just grabbed that score from Tech Power Up. The 5950X. I took it from the X3D 5800 X3D review. They have a full list there with the 12900 KS, the 5950X, and all those guys. And yeah, the new. I will interrupt myself here to answer. Yeah, Lith. I love the fact that the current cooler will be able to be used on that new IHS. I love that. Yeah, no, you gotta Annie, you gotta fill in those notches with mayonnaise to get the top performance. It's really the only way. But yeah, those notches are probably going to get thermal paste in them, and it's gonna probably, like, for like the excessive pasters out there, that thermal paste is gonna like just get itself all in there, and like with those little components and some of those notches, they're just gonna have paste on them. You just have to accept that. But I was looking at, like, with the clock increase, so roughly you're looking at going from 4.9 to 5.5. It's about a 12.2% clock increase and an 8% IPC increase. You're looking at roughly, if that translates, you're looking at like 21% increase of, you're looking at like a 21 increase in single thread Cinebench, if it translates directly, which it probably won't, because again, you're also using new memory. So yeah, you're getting more performance and faster data access. I'm going to switch to the next. Yeah, I can't wait to install one of these in my build 3 years from now. Right? Yeah, it's at the bottom. No worries. Yeah, no, thermal paste should be fine on those as long as you're not using like liquid metal. Let's switch to the next. I'm going to switch to the next one here, which was a little bit more detailed. This next slide. This guy here is yeah. So this one was a little bit. Did it switch? Yeah. No, it didn't. There we go. So this one here is okay. Not being all right. Let's not give AMD a hard time for AM4. All right, they basically dragged that thing out for 4 years, 5 years if you count 2022. So they did a really good job with AM4. So don't be sad. So for the Zen 4, they're saying here 8 to 10% instructions per clock increase, greater than 15% single thread, up to 125% memory bandwidth per core. I love the fact that they added AVX 512, and I think Intel got rid of AVX 512 just because it was starting house fires on their 12900s. So it's kind of great. Good guy AMD, increasing your functionality. So you can't hate them for that. They did a great job with that. So this one here, yeah, 8 to 10%. So who knows? Maybe you're gonna get 8 to 10% instructions per clock. That would be kind of cool. I wonder if you're gonna get a higher IPC, like 10% with the single chiplet CPUs. It'll be interesting too to see how DDR5 factors in, because I know with current Zen CPUs, your memory speed is kind of connected with your Infinity Fabric speed. So, oh man, Intel has been like just the scum of the universe. Let's just be real with their CPUs and the way they try and control like every little aspect. And now the fact too that the K ones, you overclock and you void your warranty. They're absolutely like horrendous. Let's just be real with that. But the great thing about this, oh hey, wife just got home. You know what? I wouldn't say I'd never go back to Intel, but there's not a lot of reasons to go back to Intel. So, because there's actually a lot of really cool stuff happening, and this is like the least cool stuff I'm talking about right now. Zen 4 and RDNA 3 is actually the least cool stuff of what came up in this. I'm gonna pop up Zen 4, the CPU roadmap. There's some kind of interesting stuff with that. Let's change this to the Zen 4 biddy here. There you are. Yes. So, again, how awesome. A company that makes a roadmap and actually does a roadmap. Hey, stop, Lith. We're not talking about that yet. Hold your horses, man. So, Zen 4 with Vcache, and Zen 4C. This is kind of interesting. Zen 4C is a new, like, compact design. The way they were sort of describing it is basically a chip that's going to take full advantage of the shrunk process. So, 5 nanometer. The Zen 4C, the C is for like compact. So it's basically with the least amount of space possible. So your Zen 4C will probably be, I'm imagining, for say like maybe laptop or smaller packaging. I would think the Zen 4C would probably be something you would see on, I don't know, next gen Steam Deck maybe. You'd see Zen 4C cores on there. But you got your Zen 4 Vcache. It's kind of cool. They're going to have Zen 4 Vcache, Zen 5 Vcache. So this Vcache thing is going to be here to stay. And I'm assuming this is going to be more so on their... Yeah, DDR5 right now is the most garbage it's going to be. But probably, yeah, as the years progress and as most of the platforms and manufacturing switches over to DDR5, you're going to get much cheaper DDR5 and much better speeds, much better timing, and eventually you're going to be like, DDR4 what? So glad I built my Zen 4 or my 5950X rig this year. Yay. But it'll last me for a while. But yeah, early adopter tax will get you. But oh no, for sure. This 5950X is going to last me for a good amount of time, I think. But the cool thing, all right, they're going to continue their Vcache, right? Along Zen 3, Zen 4, Zen 5. And I think those are going to be more their like gaming focused ones. Those might be like later on iterations after launch. It'd be interesting if AMD sort of adopts sort of a similar sort of TikTok cadence, in the sense of you have your Zen 4, and then 2023 you got your Zen 4 Vcache, and then 2024 you've got your Zen 5, and then 25 Zen 5 Vcache, and then within all that you've got your Zen 5 and Zen 4C. And I'm gonna get to where that Zen 4C and Zen 5C is gonna be kind of cool. But yeah, DDR4 from your old Ryzen 1700, man. Actually, Lith, funny thing is, my younger brother, he's got a 1700 he bought way back, early adopter days. He had to deal with like so much garbage with like BIOS updates and such. So I'm hoping a lot of these these 600 series chipsets for AMD is going to be better than those original 300 series ones. But yeah, current CPUs, I don't know. Current gen CPUs won't be a bottleneck. I don't know for the Palm. We'll see. Depends on how Yeah, that first gen stuff. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because with GPUs going crazy, you never know. It's the sky's the limit with the processing power, and you might see some bottlenecks just with like the single core throughput. Um, so now we're gonna get into, where are you? There was some performance efficiency stuff that they talked about, which was kind of interesting. And again, just lower power consumption in general is just really good, especially like performance wise. So if you're getting better performance per watt, it means it's easier to cool your CPU. And usually with a lot of these automatic boost algorithms and programs that they run, if you can keep your CPU cooler, it will run faster automatically. It's weird just the way that sort of with binning and precision boost, was it turbo 2.0, 3.0, 7.0, I don't know what turbo version Intel's on, but with these different turbo or these different automatic overclocking sort of software within, it's almost moot, the idea of like overclocking your CPU anymore, to be honest. I haven't even like considered overclocking the 5950X just because if I overclock it, I lose out on that peak single core, and I don't know if I'm ready to do that. Interesting comment here from Fruit of Palm. CPU matters more at lower resolution. Yes, just in the sense that at lower resolution, your GPU won't be bottlenecking you. I believe so. I don't think that there'd be significant bottleneck at higher. Oh, definitely not at higher resolutions. I think though with next gen cards, you're gonna see some bottlenecks if you're trying to do like. Actually, interestingly enough, Coconuts, I think we will see CPU bottlenecks with these newer crazy 500 hertz refresh rate monitors. Because I think a lot of current gen CPUs out there right now will have a very hard time running anything to 500 hertz. And I think next gen GPUs will probably be able to push 1080p 500 hertz, and I think that's probably why they're releasing these ridiculous monitors. So we shall see. I'm gonna chit chat now a little bit about. Let us see. Okay. Lith, we're going to get to the part that you are interested in, and hopefully some of you guys are interested in. But yeah, no, at Fruit of Palm, like, as you're saying, like, higher resolutions, it's not going to be an issue. You're not going to have any problems at 4K. You're not going to have any problems probably at, like, ultra-wide resolution, like 3440 by 1440, or 1440p, you probably won't either. So let's chit-chat a little bit about Infinity Fabric. Boop. So, once touted as technological glue by competitors, AMD has stuck by their chiplet technology and their Infinity Fabric architecture, and they've been doing it for a while. And the part that I'm most excited is this very last portion of the slide: leadership compute platform, Infinity architecture, modularity, and leading chiplet portfolio. This is such a cool thing to me, where you can have various chiplets on a package, and they have an interconnect that allows them to communicate effectively with very minimal latency. And that whole modular system can act as act very closely to being a singular acting as if it's a monolithic product, a single die. To me, that's such a cool idea and such a cool concept, because honestly, I think this is going to be the future of computing, and it's going to be something that everybody follows. It's actually quite interesting how you see, especially with the rumors, NVIDIA following AMD's lead. I never thought I'd say that, but you see NVIDIA following AMD's lead with implementing a similar feature on their next-gen GPUs to Infinity Cache. So you have this massive cache, I guess, they called it gaming cache or something, but basically it's this massive cache on their GPU. And the crazy thing with AMD is, especially cool with this 3DXV cache, you've got, something that looks like, I love this slide when they had it in there. I was like, this is so cool. So they're scaling horizontally and vertically. This sort of interconnect with their 3D cache and 3D hybrid bonding. So basically you just have your cache die sitting on top of your CPU die, or your GPU die. Who knows? Lith, do you think they're gonna have a similar 3D architecture on the RDNA 3, where they're gonna have like the cache die is gonna be sitting on top? HBM2? What? On RDNA 3? There's gonna be HBM2? Okay, if you said yes, I would have booted you from the chat. I wouldn't have, actually. I don't even know how. Next gen? Well, why not HBM3? But this GPU HBM with the EFB, elevated fan-out bridge, I'm assuming this basically acts as if it's connected via, just the same chip with both things in there. Like you have your GPU and HBM die as a monolithic single piece of silicon. But this gets into the even more interesting part of the entire thing, which I'm going to put up right RDNA is going to accelerate at rasterization as well as pasteurization. That is true. Lisa is going to milk your wallet dry. So here's an interesting idea. AMD's Chiplet platform is something I think that's going to change a lot of the computing world. See, they talked about it in the sense of, they were thinking like more so with like adding AI functionality. But for me, I thought like this sort of deal. All right. So you've got GPU, CPU, third-party chip, AIE, chiplet. Oh shoot, I looked up AIE and now I forgot what it means. I think it's artificial intelligence engine. But say you get rid of that artificial intelligence engine and you have like HBM2 or 3 there. And you have your third-party chip of some sort. or you don't even have a third-party chip, and you have those three things together on a single package, and you pop that into your next gen Steam Deck, or you have that in your next gen console, or you have a third party chip, you know, for you have your GPU, CPU, your memory, and then you have either your chip from Sony that goes in there, or your chip from Xbox that goes in, or from Microsoft that goes in there, or your chip from Nintendo that goes in there, or your chip from Steam that goes in there. But they will use the GPU on the CPU and the GPU as a crossfire type of efficient core, power core. Interesting. I did not. So they would use GPU cores as sort of like the low power cores to get sort of that hybrid core architecture that Intel, like a similar to the hybrid core architecture that Intel's talking about. Is that what you're saying, Lith? Because that would be kind of an interesting way of doing it. Because yeah, well, we shall see. But with Infinity Cash, yeah, I know, and they'll be charging you Infinity Cash to get it. Hey-o. Although chiplet design is going to be cheaper, unless there's HBM in there, then it's going to be costing you an arm and a leg. Yeah, efficient core. I bet you, it'd be actually really funny is if AMD released like a big small core type CPU, and then they marketed it as efficient core and even more efficient core. And it's like, yeah, Intel has like those fire cores and their efficient cores. We have efficient cores and even more efficient cores. And if you pay a little bit extra, you'll get our Michael cores. Oh, big small GPU core. But yeah, I think at the center though of these sort of like modular designs, right? They've got their Infinity architecture there. And this is the crazy thing, and this is the interesting. I have not looked at the new motherboard design, but I did not see how they, even if I saw how they designed the PCIe lanes, I'm not going to lie, I probably wouldn't have picked up anything with that. But I will say this, with interesting, even the cheapest ones have have dedicated high rate PCI, so the PCI Gen 5. Yeah, I think all of them, yeah, have that. And I think that's because they're all going to share the same I/O die. But look at this chiplet platform leadership thing slide here that they had. This chiplet platform, the crazy thing about it, yeah, that's true. See this chiplet platform though, right? This is where I could see those compact Zen 4C and Zen 5C making an appearance, especially like with next gen consoles. You're gonna have that more compact, so you can have like a much smaller packaging on this. The big reason why they're not doing, if you're wondering like why are they not doing like Zen 4C, like the fully compact Zen 4 chips, like just across the board, you know, smaller chip better. Not necessarily. Smaller chip is worse for heat dissipation. So say for higher end PC, you know, desktop PC, you're going to want a bigger silicon die. So spacing your 5 nanometer circuitry out is going to be better for cooling than if you sort of bring it all together to a degree. I think if you do the compact one, you do have technically a higher percentage of copper, so it's more close. It's closer to having just like a straight up block of copper, which is better because copper is much better for transmitting heat. But spaced out, you have a bigger contact with your IHS, which is better. So, yeah, the C will probably be for laptops, probably be for smaller applications with lower power consumption, and you'll probably have a higher, the bigger area ones for your higher powered ones. But it is kind of cool too that on Zen 5 you're going to have integrated GPUs on all of them, or on some of them at least. So expect your G series to be gone, unless they decide to, I don't know, you're going to have like the 59 or the 7900 XG or something. But I doubt it. They'll probably just have that as standard, and you know, maybe you'll have some lower end ones that just don't have it. But here's the crazy part, is that with this packaging technology that they're working on, and not just working on, they're actually like sending out products with this packaging technology, with this Infinity architecture. I saw this slide, and I know this isn't the context that it's in, but this is the one I wanted to finish off with, because I think this is genuinely going to be what your PC could look like in 2025, and it's this. I know it's the CDNA 3, which is an AI type dealy, but this could be your PC or your super high performance laptop. You'll have just a single little piece that sits on your heatsink in your laptop, and on it has your system memory, your GPU, and your CPU all together in a single design with super low latency. And you've got your system memory, your GPU memory, all there on the same piece, and that's it. You don't have your GPU over here from so-and-so manufacturer. You don't have your RAM over there from so-and-so. Oh yeah, ultra thin PowerBook. Or you could have something like this that basically blows, you know, any current, you know, gaming GPU out of the water. And the great thing is you can add more GPU chiplets to it as you want. And because they're going to have that chiplet technology, and, you know, you can add 1, 2, 3 GPU chiplets on there, for, you know, and you can have like a single 8 core CPU chiplet and 3 GPU chiplets, or you could have 2 CPU chiplets, 2 GPU chiplets. And, you know, all you would have maybe is like two M.2 PCIe Gen 5 SSDs in there that you use for your system memory, and that's it. And you'd have just like the tiniest thing. Or you'd have something like this in your next gen Steam Deck, or your next gen handheld gaming console. Because they're talking a lot like this: performance per watt uplift, incredible performance per watt uplift. But again, yeah, they're talking about AI performance, but computing is computing in a sense. So imagine you have 5 times the performance per watt in your Steam Deck right now in 2025. I'm guessing this could be in your laptop or in a handheld gaming console 2025, something like this. You got GPU, CPU, you got your Infinity cache, and you have your HBM on the same packaging, all interconnected with Infinity fabric, and that's it. Like, you know, this would probably, like, something like this would probably like destroy my current system easily, even with like Zen 4 C cores and RDNA 3 chiplets with HBM2 memory, that would probably like kill most desktops right now if you were to package that together. So I have a feeling this will be sort of the future. And the lines between console and PC, as far as computing power, etc., is going to be quite blurred. So I have a feeling this will be very much how in about 3 years, maybe even 3 to 5 years, you're going to see something like this. You never know. Because packaging something like this, you could have it, you know, connecting to a higher output power. Like with laptops, right? Your biggest thing is that laptops, you've got your biggest limiting factors are power and cooling. And usually they go hand in hand in the sense that you bump up the power, you have to bump up your cooling. And then that makes your laptop super fat and bulky and has a massive battery. But imagine you have a package like this. Well, think of this. If you have, you could easily have, well, this right here could fit on a Threadripper PCB probably. And, you know, you put that in your slot and you have your 360 mil AIO on there and a couple of PCI 5.0 SSDs, and you're good. Or you might even have the option of expanding memory on the board as well, where you had your HBM or your more local system memory and GPU memory on that board, and the rest AIO. Yeah, I know. Pfft, who wants an AIO? You can put your custom loop on that and bring it down to room temperature and put like 500, 600 watts right into it and keep it at room temperature and basically destroy everything and anything. You heard it. Upgrading components, that's going to be a thing of the past. Upgrading cooling, that's forever. All right. But those were the big highlights for me from the financial analysis day. I think this is genuinely a peek into the future. This sort of packaging is genuinely a peek into the future of computing platforms. Oh yeah, updating cooling forever. Because you can always add another radiator. All right. You're laughing in an NHT 15. Well, if you have a custom loop, you will be upgrading it forever as you change your coolant and replace your coolant and replace your coolant and replace your coolant. Although I haven't replaced mine yet. It's been about a year, so I probably should soon. But that's all I've got from the presentation. It was pretty cool to see some details about RDNA 3, especially that chiplet design. Actually, I use an NHT 15 on my Raspberry Pi build. It still struggles, but I underclocked it, so it can handle it now. But the presentation was a lot of information, and yeah, it's like 3.5 hours long. So you got it in a third of the time, 1 hour. And thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. Keeping the chat lively. Lith, again, you were right with that chiplet design. Awesome call. From now on, I'm not listening to any leakers, and I'm just listening to you. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the chat. It was a lot of fun chit-chatting with you guys there. This Friday, another 7 Days to Die stream, if that's your thing. I'm going to try and keep it under 4 hours, just for the sake of my sleep. And for the sanity of any others that want to join. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you who subscribe, who like, who comment, and hang out with me on these streams. It would be so lonely and so depressing if it was by myself, but I appreciate the fact that there are other people who are into this, who enjoy this, and want to enjoy it with me. So thanks so much, guys. Have a good night, and I will see you in the next one.